Hi everyone, it's LaShonda from Labors of Love with another Therapy Thursday video. Very excited to expand our Therapy Thursdays here into the podcast world, where we will share small tidbits of information to help people move from coping to healing. For today, I would like to talk about pregnancy and infant loss. So, today, the day this is actually coming out, it is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day within October, which is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. And I'd like to start off by extending a very genuine and heartfelt condolences to all of the families who have lost children, whether that was during the pregnancy process, stillbirth, or within their infancy. Tremendous loss. And it's oftentimes very challenging for the parents and the family members to really get back on track to whatever that new normal is after such a loss. And so, again, I extend a heartfelt and very genuine condolences and love to those who have lost. This Therapy Thursday, however, is for those associated with, friends of, or people who aren't very aware of what to do or say to someone who has experienced pregnancy or infant loss. I have had a number of friends to lose a child, and I can definitely admit being in a space where I was afraid to say the wrong thing. I wanted to provide comfort and condolences, but I didn't want to do it in a wrong way. And so I thought this might be an opportunity for me to just give a little bit of insight and maybe some advice to those of us who want to be supportive of those in our lives who have lost children but might not know how. And so the first thing that I want to say is that it's not just moms. And I know that there is a tendency when there is a loss of a child for so much love and support to be wrapped around the moms. And I also want to extend the awareness that the entire family is impacted. So the partner of the mom, the other parent of the child, the siblings, the grandparents, close relatives and family, everyone is impacted by the loss. And so it's important that we recognize that a multitude of people need support in that regard. The objective is not to fix anything. There's nothing that we can do or say that will take away the loss. And I think it's important for us to go into the situation being very aware that that's not what we're being asked to do. Sometimes what this looks like is when we try to justify it or well-meaning things like, I know how you feel. Well, even if you are a person who has lost a child yourself, it doesn't guarantee that you know how that person is feeling. And so we want to avoid saying things like, I know how you feel, or it was God's will, they're with God now. All of these things in an attempt to fix or justify or minimize the pain are often not very helpful to those who have lost a child. Instead, we can just offer something very simple, like, I'm sorry for your loss. We don't have to go into excessive talking or distractions or, trying to silver lining. At least you have other kids and, all of those things that may come from a good place but can really do harm. Instead, we want to offer our love and our condolences, ask perhaps if there is anything that we can do, but also understand that they may not know at that moment. And so if there are things that you are aware that need to be done, like providing food, or perhaps it's some childcare for other children, or some maintenance type things that could really lighten the load for the family, those things may be helpful. It's very important that we acknowledge the life and the loss of the child. We can do this by not pretending that the child didn't exist, by avoiding talking about it, by not using the child's name. It's actually dehumanizing of the experience when we do those things. So doing things like acknowledging the life of the child, saying the child's name, and allowing the parents and the family of who lost the child to be able to talk about the child and the role that they had in their lives. And all of those things are going to be super important, that we just kind of become a place of safety for others. And I think one final point that I want to make is that we make sure that we leave space for these parents and family members to have all of their feelings, that they may be mourning and having sadness, and they also may experience joy and excitement, in that we don't have to come along and try to figure it out or temper it, or do any of those things that we feel we need to step in. Because when we do that, almost always it's for our benefit, not the other person. So we really do need to ease into these situations from a space of humility, realizing that it's not about us, but that we can be supportive of others. So I hope this information was helpful to those of us who find ourselves in positions to provide support and some comfort to those who have lost children. Thank you for listening to our very first Therapy Thursday video put out in our podcast format. If you're interested in previous Therapy Thursdays, you can find those on our YouTube channel, Labors of Love Counseling and Consulting. Don't forget that we're on all the major social media outlets. You can get our regular podcast as well as our ongoing Therapy Thursday podcast anywhere you get your podcast, the Labors of Love podcast. Thank you so much, and until we meet again, you all be well.